Welcome. In this video, I'm going to be telling you exactly why you need to be sending at least 3 email campaigns per week and you cannot afford to be sending any less. One of the key things that gets brought up when I'm talking to ecom stores is the fact that they think 3 emails per week is too much. I audit hundreds of stores a month. Most of them are not sending 3 emails per week. There's only a small amount of people who are sold on this strategy. When we start working with people, one of their key objections is always, well, is 3 emails a week too much? Are we sending too much to our list? The answer is no. We've done a lot of testing around this volume, and I have a lot of theories as to why you need to be sending 3 emails per week, which is what I'm going to dive into in this video. Now, this is a snippet directly from the course that I use to train my internal team. When I hire people internally, they all need to go through this extensive course to make sure they're up to speed with the strategies that are required to run accounts to a high level. This is taken exactly from learnings that I've developed over the 5 or 6 years working inside Klaviyo accounts. So let's sort of run through it. This module particularly was designed to show people how to run an effective email campaign strategy, and essentially how to build a content calendar that is going to actually convert for your email list. But I want to touch on specifically the importance of sending 3 emails per week and how this relates to that. So let's sort of dive into it. Firstly, all of this sort of comes down to the rule of the market. You might have seen this graph in books that you've read or textbooks that you've seen or videos online before. I didn't make this, but this is just sort of the common consensus of studies into total addressable market. So when you look at a market for any given product, 3% of people in that market are considering buying now or are buying now actively. 6 to 7%, sorry, of people are open to buying, or they're, nearly ready to buy. And 90% of these people are realistically not interested. 30% are not thinking about it. 30% don't think they're interested. And 30% know they're not interested. So how do we apply that to our email list? And what people don't understand is that this has a direct correlation to the audience on your email list. So say you have 10,000 people on your email list. 90% of these people are going to be in a zombie state. That sort of comes from a combination of these 3 structures here, or these 3 tiers here. That means these people are not necessarily in the market to buy. They're perhaps not even interested in your product or industry anymore. This would be the bottom tier. Or they're perhaps, they don't think they're interested anymore. And 30%, they're not opposed to buying, but they're definitely not in the market for it. This is the majority of your list. This doesn't mean we can't get these people to convert, but this is the majority of your list. And I'll get to in a minute why we need to be paying the most amount of attention to these people. 6 to 7%, which was these people who are open to it. These people are problem aware. They may not realistically be actively buying right now, but they're aware that they have a problem and they could be looking to solve it. So for example, this is overweight people who are looking to get fit, skinny people who are looking to put on muscle, a dog owner who knows that they need a new dog bed, someone who's looking for a new outfit, someone who, their air fryer just broke and they're considering buying a new air fryer. These people who are, they're close to being ready to buy and they have a mid-level buying intent. They aren't necessarily going to go and shop right away or in the next few days, but they're available to sell to. That's a very important thing to note. They're available to sell to. Then the 3% of people who are at the top of this pyramid, the buying now bunch, these are people who are actively looking to solve their problem. They may not necessarily be buying from your store, but they're at the very least actively shopping around. They have a high buying intent. So this is sort of just a diagram depicting what I've said above there. So 90% of people are in the zombie state, 7% of people are problem aware, and 3% of people are ready to buy. Now the issue is, most ecom stores focus on selling to these people only. All they're doing is focusing on these 3% of people who are ready to buy. And you could argue that you could extract the most value from this 3%. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't be paying close attention to the 97% of people who are not ready to buy. And the reason that most ecom stores market to those 3% is because they're sending 1 or 2 emails a week where they're either just doing flash sales, product features, they're just doing flashy designs, they're occasionally maybe doing a reviews email, they're doing product launches, they're doing restocks, or they're just marketing the benefits of their product. They're literally just pushing product, they're using their emails as a digital billboard. Realistically, this is like selling beer in a bar. It's easy. We're selling the obvious thing to people who obviously want it. Everyone who is in a bar already wants to buy beer, and you're just sitting there marketing the beer to them. There's nothing effective or there's nothing high leverage about that. You're ending up just turning the ready to buy people into customers, things which you're already probably going to do at some point anyway. But in doing that, we're excluding the majority of our list, the 97% of people I just spoke about. This is what we should be doing instead. So this is the strategy in a nutshell that we've run for all of our stores, from 6 figures to 7 figures to 8 figures to even the 9-figure stores we're working with are running strategies like this. We need to be breaking down our strategy by the types of people on our list. So we have the zombie state people, and if we're using the bar analogy, like people who are going to a bar, the zombie state people are the ones who are planning on staying home. They don't even want to buy beer. They're so far away from buying beer that they're planning on staying home. They're having a Saturday night in. We have the people who are problem aware. They feel like going out. They maybe feel like socializing. They've had a few texts from their mates saying that they're going out. So, they're on the cusp of, well, should I stay in tonight or should I go out tonight? They're ready to buy. These are people who are going out on their Saturday evening. They know they want to go have a drink. They know they want to go have dinner, but they're trying to pick the right venue to attend. So you can sort of see how this relates back to our list and what I was saying before. We have these 3 types of people. So we need to be splitting our content accordingly. Now, the more nurturing that we do, the more sales we will make. Essentially, like I said, most stores are just marketing to these people who are ready to buy. They're the ones who are looking for a venue, if we look back up here. We need to be marketing to all of these people. If we were a bar, we would be wasting our time and resources if all we were trying to do is market to these people. Yes, we want the people who are trying to pick a bar to come as well, but we can market to those people using good bottom of funnel tactics. They're easier to convert. But we also want to market to the people who are planning on staying home and the people who feel like going out. Because there's going to come a time where the people who are planning on staying home are considering having a drink. It might not be this Saturday, it might be next Saturday, it might be the Saturday after. There's going to come a time where these people are looking for a bar, they're looking for a venue. These people who feel like going out, they can be convinced with the right marketing or the right nudge in the right direction. So we definitely want to be focusing on these people as well. We would be doing ourselves a disservice if all we did is focus our marketing on these people. And the more time we spend trying to appeal to the people who are in the zombie state and the people who are problem aware, the more people we will have in this ready to buy bucket and the more money and the more customers we will make in the end. This is called delaying the ask, and Hormozi has a really good quote about this. The longer you delay the ask, the bigger the ask you can make. The longer the runway, the bigger the plane can take off. Essentially, what this means is if we spend more time appealing to people in a zombie state and nurturing them with good content, the more people on our list who will then become problem aware and the more people who will then become ready to buy. And the reason this ties back to having to send 3 emails a week is if you're not sending 3 emails a week, you simply don't have the volume baked into your strategy to successfully do this or effectively do this. If you're only sending 1 email a week, how are you meant to nurture people who are in a zombie state? How are you meant to convince the people who are problem aware that they should shop with you? How are you meant to secure the funds or secure the purchase from the people who are ready to buy? If you're sending 1 email a week, you can't do all those things. And you say, oh, well, I'll just split it over a month. I'll send 4 campaigns over a month. Well, in that time, they've already gone and shopped with your competitors. You've already lost the sale. People are already disengaged. We live in an attention economy. And sort of part 2 of this theory is we live in an attention economy. That's not theoretical. That's the truth. We are competing for attention at any given point of the day. People are worried about work. They're worried about their families. They're worried about what to have for dinner. They're scrolling on TikTok. They're getting Instagram notifications. They're, watching a good Netflix show that they're hooked on. People's attention has never been more divided and attention span has never been shorter. So we need to be also capturing attention. If you're not sending 3 emails a week, not only do you physically not have the content or the volume of content to successfully do this, but you don't have the engagement. You don't have the attention. You're losing out to your competitors. If you're not sending 3 emails a week, or I urge you to go into your inbox right now and look at how many people or how many marketing emails you've received. This is a burner account that I have where I subscribe to maybe 30 stores most, like most people would. Look how many emails I've received today alone. There's like 20 of them. I've got 5,000 emails in this inbox. I go back 3 pages and I'm only 5 days ago. Like, people send more emails than ever before. You're competing with every single person in your inbox. Like, it's naive to think that you're only competing with your competitors, because a pushback on my point there is a lot of ecom brands will say, well, I don't have many competitors. I don't have direct competitors, or I know for a fact my direct competitors aren't sending emails. Well, you're not just losing out on your direct competitors. You're losing out to every single person who is competing for attention from your customers. Your customers are interested in supplements, they're interested in fashion, they're interested in beauty, they're interested in furniture, and they only have so much money. Like, people don't have infinite money to spend across all different industries. They might say have $500 that they're willing to spend of disposable income. That has to go to only so many different places. So if you're not competing for attention and you're selling supplements, but the furniture shop down the road is front of mind and is willing to market 3 times a week, that person might go buy a rug this month instead of stocking up on your supplements. That's the reality. We're competing for attention with everyone. So there's sort of 2 points here. If you're not willing to send 3 emails a week, you're not going to have the touch points to even hold attention of your customers. They're going to be disengaged. They're going to go interact with your competitors. When it comes time to spending money or when they're in the shopping mood, they're going to think of the brands who are marketing more often and simply have more touch points. It's science. Touch points, mere exposure equals more interest. Secondly, if you're not sending 3 emails a week, you simply don't have the volume in your strategy to successfully have a good strategy. Like, your strategy is half baked if you only have 3, 4, 5, 6 touch points a month. You need a high amount of touch points to successfully send people from their zombie state into being problem aware, into being ready to buy. It's simple science. You need to be doing this. Like, the rule of the market that has been studied for years and years and years, or probably like a century at this point, it holds true. This is the breakdown of your email list, and you're doing yourself a disservice by only sending a handful of campaigns. Now, the rest of this lesson sort of goes on to how to actually execute on this, and I'll make a separate video on this, but essentially it touches on what sort of campaigns do you need to do, or what sort of campaign topics do you need to make to appeal to this zombie state. And there's a bit of a snippet here, like, you want to focus on value-based campaigns, blogs, entertaining emails to keep these people engaged. Then what sort of campaign should you be sending to problem-aware people? Well, this is social proof, UGC, reviews, things that are going to convince people that they're missing out and that this is the solution to their problem. Then, how do you convert people who are ready to buy with your store? Well, these are sales, promotional emails, direct response, marketing the features, marketing the benefits over the features, and appealing to people that you're the number one thing that they should pick. It's very simple. Once you break down this strategy, you need to be appealing to these 3 different buckets. And the best way to do that is to have 3 emails a week, 4 emails a week that appeal to these people and keep your store front of mind when they're coming into their time where they're ready to purchase. Now, I hope this video helps break this down. If you want more content like this, subscribe to my YouTube. If you want us to do an audit of your Klaviyo account, feel free to click any of the links in the description. It'll take you there. But I will be making more videos like this, diving into successful strategies that we've been using for 7, 8, 9-figure stores, and especially how we create content that actually works to retain and convert customers in today's ecom market. So stay tuned for more. Hit subscribe.